All right, let's pick up on the markets update now, and local trade expected to remain slightly muted today. The rand weaker yesterday, while the JSE was firmer amid those mixed global peers, with the focus this week on the U.S. jobs data as investors assess the outlook for inflation and monetary policy. Director at Sanlam Private Wealth is Greg Katzenellenbogen, joining us now for a quick wrap of what we saw yesterday, and we're going to touch on company news. Greg, good morning to you and thanks for your time. Let's kick off with that overview of how the markets are faring in early trade.
In early trade, the markets are flat to slightly down at the moment, but it's still early and the market's only been open for about half an hour. But we'll see how later we go. You know, things do pick up in the day, and then in the afternoon when America comes online, then we get to some real clear direction. But given that the US markets have had at least 10 days of seemingly uninterrupted gains, the recent performance here today has been a little bit disappointing, but I think that's we're trying to find direction. Everyone is concerned about the trajectory for interest rates and where that's going, and of course some currency volatility either helps or doesn't help.
Let's quickly launch into company news. Royal Bafokeng Platinum posting their interim results for the 6 months, which ended on the 30th of June 2023. Talk us through their performance.
Well, that was down, but that was expected. You know, they made a loss versus a profit previously, but that's to be expected because the basket of products that they sell, the prices have come down quite sharply. The price of palladium, price of platinum, and most of all, the price of rhodium has come from over 20,000 to around 4,000 a ton. So that's to be expected. But Royal Bafokeng has now been acquired. 99% of the shares have been acquired by Impala Platinum Holdings, and they will invoke that section of the Companies Act that allows them to compulsorily acquire the balance of 1% odd. So it's probably the last results you'll see out of Royal Bafokeng Platinum, and they will probably delist. Well, they will delist from the JSE in the near future. But the interesting thing coming out of the results was that they feel that there's, you know, an uptick is coming in the platinum price, not so much in palladium or rhodium, but there's a substitution now of platinum for palladium because of the price differential. And as the world tries to move towards decarbonization and all the petrol and diesel cars that require these catalytic converters, they think that the auto market will go up over the next 12 months, and that will be positive for at least for platinum, if not for palladium.
Very interesting outlook for this company moving forward. Let's talk MTN Ghana results for the 6 months, which ended on the 30th of June 2023, also out. How have they fared?
Well, these results were up in there, but bear in mind there's very high inflation in Ghana, so you can't read too much into it because I think interest rates are, you know, they've got a lot of problems in Ghana. Interest rates are around 20%, so, but inflation is very high. So the numbers in the Ghanaian currency were good, you know, in excess of 20% up. But I think that there's, you know, the IMF are involved there with Ghana, so I think it's, I think that you know, these figures, you can't extrapolate them to the rest of their business because they're operating under some difficult conditions in Ghana.
Let's conclude with Aspen Pharmacare also announcing a possible acquisition of a portfolio of products in Latin America from Viatris. You'll explain to us who they are. Help us make sense of the specs of this deal.
Well, you know, they're acquiring a portfolio of brands in Latin America, which is mainly Ecuador and Colombia. So it's for $280 million, but they're only putting down 150 and will extend some supply terms to Beatrice, and that cash will come from Aspen's existing debt facilities. So that portfolio, it includes some, well-known brands that are out of patent now, like Lipitor, which lowers cholesterol, Viagra, Lyria, which is a diabetic nerve pain medication. There's Zoloft, which is an antidepressant. There's Celebrex, which is for arthritic pain. So these drugs, they post-patent, but they have very strong brands. Now, this portfolio of brands made Viatrice last time about $92 million in revenue, which should translate to about $57 million of gross profit. But it's it equates to around R1 a share for the purchase, in terms of purchase profit. But in developed markets, people are quite comfortable with generics, but in the emerging markets, they're not so comfortable with that. So with these brand names that they will distribute should be very good for Aspen, and they, this will add bulk to their operations in South America.
Greg Katzenellenbogen, thank you very much for that markets update. He is director at Sanlam Private Wealth.